Hey, what's up, YouTube? Welcome back to Check Me. We're starting this year off with a recap of the Philadelphia Eagles game versus the Cowboys. We had a good one. Um, it was what I was expected to coming into the game. Dallas has always been a tough team. They play NFC East tough. Um, Dak Prescott does well in the NFC East. We typically, when Dak Prescott has been there over the past couple of years, historically have split with the Cowboys. So I'm not surprised this game went like this. It's the first game of the season. There's a lot of sloppiness, error, all of that. But just to kind of recap, I thought Jalen Hurts played a masterful game. Um, when I look at the best year over year or just year over year progression of a quarterback I've seen over the past 3 years, I have not seen anything close to what we've seen with Jalen Hurts. His maturity of the game, decision making, process thinking. He's doing the things you want as a quarterback, and the game's starting to come to him. Um, he's getting the ball out quick. He's being decisive. He's knowing when to run, when not to run. So that's it's a huge improvement I've seen with Jalen Hurts. Taking what the defense is getting him. It may not be an explosive game, but it's a game that's methodical. It's a game that's methodical for him. He's making the right plays and doing the right thing. So hats off to Jalen Hurts for just spearheading our offense. I know people were upset we didn't get the offensive production we typically get. That'll come on a game-by-game basis. But we saw Dallas play a lot of man. They tried to switch up a little bit in the second half by playing zone. But if you play man without a spy, Jalen Hurts is a running back quarterback's going to kill you. And that's what essentially what Jalen Hurts did. Team blocked well. He was pretty much comfortable in the pocket. You can see where he's getting a little more aware of calling his protections, knowing where the blitz is coming from, just having confidence in there. So overall, Jalen Hurts really spearheaded this win. Thought Dak played it well as well. Dak does what he does with the NFC East, right? He comes in, he plays well. And if you watch the Cowboys, this Cowboys team without Micah Parsons, of course, it's not the same team, but this team without Micah Parsons still is able to compete, play at a high level. The NFC East is going to have a tough time playing the Cowboys. It's not going to be a cakewalk like people think they are. Remember, they split last year with Washington, and they did not have Dak Prescott. They beat the Washington, a fresh, good Washington, with Cooper Rush. So we have to understand this Dallas Cowboys team is not a slouch, so this is a big win for the Cowboys. I do want to address the Jalen Carter situation. If you watch so Jalen Carter's gonna be fine. I think people are making it bigger than it really needs to be. If you watch the film, you'll see Dak Prescott walk up to his huddle after talking trash to him, spit at him. And if you watch the film, Jalen Carter doesn't even spit on him. JC spits to the side of Dak Prescott, and doesn't even hit him. But what the ref saw was the ref spitting. The refs also saw Dak Prescott spitting. So, of course, they always catch second man. Jalen Carter's the one for that. Different game with Jalen Carter. Without Jalen Carter, taking him, not taking on double teams. Him, putting pressure on the run. We lost his gap. But hats off to Vic Fangio, who in the second half dialed up a great game. You shut out the Cowboys in the second half after how they're moving the ball in the first half. Typically, Vic Fangio would play too high and let the rush before and let the team work. But he went back to old Vic Fangio where he was being creative with his blitzes. He was switching up his zones. We saw Vic Fangio switch up, be creative with his blitzes, but also switch up a lot of his coverages. Sorry, I don't know why I didn't say coverages. So overall, thought they did well. Smitty once again, spot getter, finding spots in his zone. Big play by Jahan Dotson. Thought that was a great way to get us out of a hole. Overall, I'm taking the win. I'm walking away taking the win. I'm not mad at what happened. Not too frustrated with what happened. Will Shipley, I think he might have gotten hurt, but I like him in the backfield. The question was, what are we going to do without Kenneth Gainwell? And Shipley, he came in, stepped in well, and ran the ball strong. The question is though, do the Cowboys miss Micah Parsons? Yes. They miss him bad. The Cowboys took the idea of Do we get beat deep, or do you beat us with the run? When they decide to do that and play the run play the run went over top of their head. Could have gone downfield a little bit more. I'm okay if we don't do that because we move the ball so well. I don't like how the drive stalled in the second half a little bit. Going across midfield, I feel like we could have, you know, um, capitalized on some of these drives that we got to midfield. Once again, we're working with another offensive coordinator, so it's going to take time for him to ramp up. You guys probably won't hear me say this, but gotta get the ball to AJ Brown more. Got to. The running game worked great. We rushed for 154. Most of those yards came from Hurts. I wouldn't say essentially by design, but most of those yards came from Hurts. What I do say is getting the ball to AJ, let him touch it, let him feel it's important. It'll also open up the offense. I felt like in some of these man coverages, we could have took some chances. Jalen Hurts was coming off AJ Brown a little bit late than I think he should have, but overall, you gotta find a way to get AJ Brown the ball. Screen, quick game, stop route. He's open on some of those. I think on one second or third down, he had man coverage and the slant was open. Could do a slant or slow go, take for a big play. I felt like we could take a big chance on one of the downs. It was second and short. We're going to do the tisk push anyway on third and fourth down, but we ran the ball. I felt like, and we lost a couple yards. I felt like we could have took a chance there, but it's going to come with the maturation of an offensive coordinator who's in his first year. So we have to be patient with him. Playbook was wide open in the first quarter. Does this the closeness of this game make Jerry Jones look like he won the deal? Because you only lost the defending champs by 4 points. Does this make it look like he won the deal? You had literally no pressure on Jalen Hurts. Now, this is why I say Dak Prescott's tough. Dak Prescott wasn't sacked one time this game. One time he wasn't sacked. And Dak Prescott has done a good job of getting the ball out quick. He made some good throws. That ill-advised drop. I mean, other than the drop by CD and him dropping it a couple of times, this game could have went different. We're going to take the win, right? We're going to be happy. But this is a tough game. I posted or threaded, right, on Threads. The Dallas Cowboys are going to be tough this year. And the way I look at it, the way I see it, the NFC East division, I see Eagles or Cowboys number 1, Giants number 3, and then Washington number 4. All right, this Cowboys team is solid, and we have to stop thinking that they're the Cowboys of last year. Remember, they beat the top team. If I look at their record last year, let me take a look. Their schedule last year. Last year, they beat the Giants twice. Lost to Philly. Of course, we smothered them in both games. They only scored 13 points in 2 games against Philadelphia. Once again, they didn't have Dak Prescott, who can eliminate some of that pass rush. But they beat Pittsburgh last year with Dak. They beat New York last year with Dak. They took Baltimore to the end of the game, lost by 3. And then once Dak went down, it was they were losing with that. But once Dak went down, it was pretty depressing. Remember, they beat Washington with Cooper Rush at Washington last year, and they lost by 4 points with Trey Lance as the quarterback. And Washington kept their starters in, and they lost. And Jaden Daniels wasn't the quarterback; it was Mariota. So this team last year against the NFC East, they broke they broke even actually. They won 3 games. Sorry, they won 3 games in the NFC East last year and lost 3. So they broke even in the NFC East last year. This is not going to be a cakewalk for them. The Giants only lost to the Commanders last year in the first game by, let's take a look. The schedule. They lost to the Commanders the first game of the season by 3 points and lost They played them. Oh, sorry, I'm tripping. They lost by 5 points the last time. So it wasn't like the Giants were getting smacked by Commanders, right? Um, they took the Commanders to the shed twice. Uh, and if you look at it, let me look at the recap. Look at the recap here. By the way, Washington should never let Brian Robinson go. Big mistake. Big mistake. Right. He got lost in that offense. That's what happened. Um, yeah, I mean, it took Washington to the shed last year. Uh, they Washington did a good job. They went forward on fourth down quite a bit to end the game out, and they kneeled. Um, actually, they didn't. They just ran the ball and got them. But the NFC East is going to be a lot tougher than we think. And these games we see first game of the season, it's not like Eagles going and blowout. When we played the Packers last year, there was the first game of the season, it was a dogfight. We were skeptical of the defense. Yes, we need to figure out what to do at corner. I don't think that we saw today. Quentin Mitchell and even Adoree Jackson. Adoree Jackson, I'm not sure what's going on with him, but Quentin Mitchell, Mitchell is not like an elite quarterback in this league. We see how if there's pressure, yeah, he's doing well, but he was beat with CD a couple times. He got beat on the deep route. He got beat by pick. Like it's not like the PI on pick. It's not like Quentin Mitchell's like this guy that can follow. We hyped him up because of our front four. Nolan Smith, I love his grit. I loved how he played out there. I love the tenacity he had. Just got to keep his head in the game. There was some Bush League calls and whatnot for him, but I like the fight I'm seeing from him. Once we get some of our guys back on the D line, we'll be better. I'm always concerned about Landon Dickerson. He's getting injured. It seems like he's injury prone. Maybe they really take some time off to fully heal before he gets back out there. But yeah, overall good showing by Philadelphia. We went into we played a tough team, and I will say this: if you look at the JC clip, the Jalen Carter clip, Jalen Carter was only retaliating from Dak Prescott, who saw him and spit first at him. The refs saw that. The refs also saw Jalen Carter say something back. Not sure why he got ejected, but Jalen Carter didn't even spit on Dak Prescott. He spit to the side of him. I hope they review the footage and see that he didn't spit on him, because if so, it's the same thing they should have did with Dak. And Dak was barking. Dak completely lied to Jason Garrett about what he did. Dak was barking. So overall, good win Philly. I'm happy about how he performed. Yeah, that's it.